Yeah, so Micro Breach is going to be our main feature this round.
Yep.
And he's on his very interesting Jeskai Breach deck.
Ooh. Speaking of obscure decks that might make top 8.
Yeah, indeed. Mark is definitely like a connoisseur of combo decks that are like flexible enough to do a lot of different stuff. And this one is a combo deck with stuff like Ragavan and Teferi Time Reveler in the main deck.
Yeah. So the combo is kind of, it's like, if I remember correctly, it's like Grinding Station and a 0-mana artifact.
Yes, that is the main combo. You're
Or
trying to...
Emery maybe? No, I'm not sure.
Exactly. You have Emery, Lurker of the Lake, and the Mox... the
Mox Amber? Yep.
Yeah. So that's a way you can like make infinite mana that way, or not infinite, but at least like whenever you play your Mox Amber from the graveyard, exiling 3 cards, you sacrifice it to Grinding Station, which mills you 3 cards.
Right.
And whenever an artifact comes into play, you untap your Grinding Station. So that's the way you can like mill your entire deck.
Yeah, okay. And then you finish it off with Thassa's Oracle, I assume.
Yes, then you finish it off with exactly...
That's a good win condition. Played in Vintage, played in Modern, played in Legacy. Played in, Commander as well.
And usually until you get there, you have Mishra's Bubble to go off, because I can see this deck list only has 2 Mox Amber and 4 Mishra's Bubble.
Okay.
And, they're
Yeah, that's the thing, we're ready to go here. And
and we're up
we actually have started. So his opponent is Red-Green Ponza,
Yes.
and there's a Blood Moon in play.
Oh yeah, that is the main deck Blood Moon deck. 4 main deck Blood Moon. Picked up Fable of the Mirror Breaker now.
I love that card.
deck.
I love it in Cube, I love it in Pioneer, I love it in every format I can play that card.
If
I
you've
think
ever
it's...
tried to Kiki a Fury, that is very good.
No, I've only tried to Kiki better things in Cube, but I'm sure Fury works as well.
Alright, so a Cloth has just entered the battlefield. And I assume this is turn 3 for Tommy.
It looks like, yeah, well, maybe a bit later since an Arbor Elf got killed, etc. So,
Yeah, who knows? It's at least turn 3-4-ish, and we're moving into Tobias's turn. So this Clothis here will do some work on the graveyard here.
yes, slowly but surely will like keep the graveyard under control, has some good reach, dealing
Definitely.
a little bit of damage.
Make Underworld Breach worse, maybe make Emery worse, and also cut out Delirium potentially for Unholy Heat.
Definitely. So this Breach deck, I have to study it a bit more, because it's like, it's not just an unfair deck, it's still like a hybrid with some like blue-red Murktide, like some plan B anyway.
Yeah, it at least got Ragavan, which also fits the deck perfectly because Ragavan makes treasures, which are artifacts that make your Emery cheaper or make you have enough mana to
Speaking of
go
cheap
off.
artifacts, I'm spotting 4 Esper Sentinel in that deck.
Oh yeah, that is another way to to just play. There's also Ursa Saga, so like having all these cheap artifacts.
Yeah,
like
so
tokens.
the plan B is actually quite strong, I would say. It's very reasonable to just win a game of Magic without ever like comboing with Breach.
All right, that is another strong card here for Tommy's turn 5 with Seasoned Pyromancer.
I love that card as well. So just Seasoned Pyromancer, Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Pitching another Seasoned Pyromancer for ultimate value.
Yeah.
Make it token drawing 2 cards.
Definitely.
Oh, and that turns on the clock.
Devotion 7 here.
That is, yeah, because the Blood Moon is an extra devotion.
Yeah.
I almost didn't see the Blood Moon in play there because of the altar. But
Yeah, I noticed it.
cool.
I noticed it straight away. But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's also why Mark is so locked out, because he's only working with a single island.
Yeah, one island and a bunch of red mana to work with.
This Springleaf Drum might be important, though. That is
That's actually a good
a single
way
drum
around.
in the deck list.
It reminds me of like old Affinity decks using Drum and Mox Opal to not care about Blood Moon, maybe even play Blood Moon themselves.
Yeah, so now he's got Ragavan. That's something you can cast off with mana. And, is that a Teferi coming down then? Now enabling the white.
It sure looks like it, but Teferi is not going to be along.
Oh, hey, just make sure to play the Hallowed Fountain now. It doesn't
Yeah, that's
cost-
actually a cool trick, because the Shocklands used to still enter tapped under Blood Moon. It's a somewhat new rule.
I mean, at this point, it's probably like 6 years ago, but...
So for me, that's like somewhat new rule.
But yeah, the Shocklands will not require you to pay 2 life on the Blood Moon anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, that's cool that you picked up on the fact that he played out Hollow Fountain first, then Teferi.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not going to bounce the Blood Moon anyway, but... Okay.
But at least he made sure that, like,
Yep.
in case he changed his mind. So he's managing Clothis, making sure he doesn't take that extra damage there. He is at 11, and there's like 3 power in play, so
Yeah.
his life total is definitely under siege.
Definitely, and Clothis is representing like 6 damage to turn 1 to start attacking, so...
Yeah, it is huge. Just the fairy is probably not long for this world.
Yep. You just go for the... Do you know the card Repulse?
Yes,
okay.
exactly, yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, it's like the Repulse mode of Teferi. It's
Repulse
just...
gain 1.
Yep.
Maybe gain 3 in case
definitely.
Tommy decides to play around in Unholy Heat.
Yep.
And attack Teferi
You
with
can
both things.
definitely gain
Oh, so
more.
now we're pitching Clothis to an Endurance.
Okay.
Main phase.
Okay.
Huh.
Let's see what's going on here.
That is very interesting. I wonder if he's trying to empty his hand because he has a second Pyromancer.
Okay.
Because he could have, like, he has the main phase of Wild Teferis in play.
Let's.
Oh, it's a Stormbreath Dragon.
I haven't seen the card in ages.
Oh, I did not even. Yeah, there's 2 Stormbreath Dragons.
It has protection white, I'm pretty sure.
It does have protection from white, yeah.
Oh yeah, with that
so
card.
he's just going everything to face. Yeah, he's just even going to ignore the Teferi. Not even going to like attack with the 1/1 token at Teferi. Because he just says, no, that doesn't matter. I can put you to 4, and then I have this 4/4 dragon that will just kill you next turn.
That's
a very like interesting heads-up play.
Yep. There will be some situations where having Teferi in play doesn't matter a whole lot, especially for a proactive deck like this. I tried to look for Bloodbraid Elf, but didn't find any that's like a card that actually cares about Teferi.
Yeah, I think at this point when you have like, when you have stuff like Furies and Stormbreath Dragons in your deck, like maybe there's like too many big things that you can't.
Yeah, and also Karn, just another 4-drop.
Yeah, so I think what Tommy recognizes here is that he just has to go, make sure he kills Mark, because Mark's mana is unlocked now with that Springleaf Drum and the Dragavan.
Yep. So the endurance play looks much better now than at first sight.
He hit a Fable of the Mirror Breaker of Ragavan. Huh.
Okay.
That can be cast on the Blood Moon.
That's a good card.
Mark has to read the card, maybe. Puts it aside for now. It's not his graveyard. It is the exile pile from the opponent.
Yep.
But yeah, like, Mark does not have enough cards in the graveyard right now to go for the Breach he does have in hand. So definitely, very...
Just spending 2 cards to get rid of 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard is a bad play on the surface.
But then when you realize that, like, Mark can't answer this dragon, and the dragon, because you put him to exactly 4, and because you didn't kill Teferi.
Yep.
And if you decide not to kill Teferi, you can't hold the endurance. You have to do it main phase.
Definitely.
Honestly, pretty brilliant.
So we have a quick question here that I can easily answer. Just wondered, how did the Vantage tap for white to cast Teferi last turn with Moon out? The short answer is it didn't. It was Drum, but it was the white mana, and the basic island was the blue mana, and Ragavan helped enable the Drum.
Yes, Vantage just tapped for red.
So yeah. Lots of mountains on the battlefield right
and
now.
Also, interesting thing in Endurance State is that it made the Unholy Heat, which I believe is in Mark's hand, just be dead. It is not able to kill the dragon.
Long way from killing the dragon for sure.
Oh, wait, what's happening here? How does he manage to discard that?
When did he... Is this first or second?
It's the second chapter of Fable. The first one, the token we've seen play is a 2/2 goblin that makes treasures.
Okay, what about hand size?
He might have had too many cards in hand, yeah.
But how did he accumulate like extra cards?
Oh, with the Fairy and the Ragavan, like he just drew a card for turn, didn't play anything.
Okay.
And yeah, there we see the Stormbreath Dragon just come in for the kill.
Yeah, that was game 1. We missed the start of it, but we could kind of reconstruct it by the Utopia Sprawl, the Dead Arbor Elf, instead of the Blood Moon. So
yeah, it seemed like a very explosive start from Tommy that got out of Blood Moon quickly.
Yeah, I think
Mark couldn't really handle, and then the Cloudless started doing work on the life total.
It really did. So for sideboarding options, so this red-green deck is pretty simple because it's almost just full of bullets for Karn. But there's a couple of Force of Vigors. Do you like that against the deck?
Also, Vigor has to be great against the Ursa Saga deck.
The Saga deck, yeah.
Yeah, remember he does play that card. There's also Chalice of the Void in the sideboard, which you do put on 0, and it stops the combo.
Yeah, that's true. So you want to leave it in your sideboard to have more access to it.
That's actually true, yeah.
So I'm thinking about actual sideboard cards here, aside from the Force of Vigor. There is actually one Thrun and one Chandra that you will...
Yeah, but both of those are against counterspell decks, basically.
Definitely.
So both can be countered.
Those are just against people hiding behind counterspell, like Archmage's Charm, Cryptic Command, stuff like that.
Like the Merc type players and so on.
Yeah, I would assume the Vigors are coming in just based on... Well, it also disrupts the Breach combo, but first and foremost, the Saga, the Sentinels of the world. Maybe you kill like a Drum or whatever, but... Okay. So, which kind of options do Mark has? So he's playing an unfair strategy. So, in general, I would sideboard as little as possible. How do you feel about that? Yeah,
see, this thing is different, though, because like the actual combo doesn't take that many slots, because it's just the Grinding Station and the Breaches, and then some artifacts you're going to play anyway. So, that's why he has room to play stuff like Sentinel, Ragavan, and Teferi. And Unholy Heat and stuff like even Prismatic.
Let's call it normal magic cards. That's like how I think about them anyway.
Like he has room to play plenty of these normal magic cards, and when those don't line up, he can change them out. Stuff like Esper Sentinel might not line up super well against this Ponza deck.
That is true. Yeah, too many creatures
and too many extra mana potentially. So he's going to look for ways to answer Blood Moon for sure. He has 2 Wear Tear in the sideboard.
Yeah. So deal with it once it's already in play. Yep.
Yeah, that's he can like float a white mana with a land in response to Blood Moon and then kill it that way.
Yep.
He might put in Spell Pierce. I've seen him put it in pretty aggressively yesterday.
Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is also just good if you expect to get Blood Moon. If you expect.
The thing is though, he has not seen Karn.
He hasn't seen Karn. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he actually expects Tommy to be on a Blood Red Elf version of the deck, especially when you see how aggressive it has been.
I can definitely see that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know like the percentages of red-green decks playing Karn. It's probably like 50-50, but that's like just an educated guess.
Exactly, and it's like, it's not a super developed deck. There's a lot of different lists of this.
Yeah.
Like, we've also seen, like red-green decks that are just like basically mid-range, not even playing the Blood Moon's main and so on.
Yeah.
That is a pop-up.
Yeah, I remember I played the deck maybe like a year or two ago. I can't remember why I started playing the deck. Maybe it's just because Blood Moon was a good card.
Though,
and I like Seasoned Pyromancer.
To be fair, Mark does know that Tommy has Fable in the mid deck because he hit it over Ragavan.
Yep.
And he probably assumes there's Ren and 6 in the deck.
Okay.
There is actually no Ren and 6 in Tommy's deck, but...
Yeah, Ren and 6 is a strange, like, modern card because the formats I usually play, you can, like, recur Wasteland. It's obvious an insane card, but here we have some toughness.
You could recur Kensen. What makes you a token return?
You can, and I've seen it, and it's obviously it's a fine like late game to have, but here it has a lot to do with how many one toughness creatures do I expect to face, right?
Yes.
In a deck like this.
Yeah, and again, it's not even in the deck list, so
I assume it's also because he wants to like jump from 1 to 3 a lot.
It's also very possible he just doesn't have them.
Yeah, I mean card availability is a thing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that would be the most expensive card in this deck, I believe. So.
Yeah, definitely not a cheap card.
And there's so many options for like how to build red-green decks that you can just like build it without them. And it's
definitely. I think I played like one copy when I played the deck, but this was before Ragavan, before Chandler. So.
Yeah, before Fable.
Yeah, Fable. Ooh, awesome card.
There's another way to like do some of the similar stuff that Ren and 6 does with like developing your mana and your draws.
Yeah. But those cards are even good together if you like.
That is true, actually. They're actually really good together.
Like when I play Vintage, Dak Fate in a Ren is just a dream. Just having bad cards to discard is perfect.
Can we talk about these Batman sleeves for a second?
I actually saw a guy yesterday who had them. He was like, "You should feature me. I have nice sleeves." But it was not this guy.
But it was not this guy.
It was not this guy. So, but yeah.
Okay, so you got his wish fulfilled. The sleeves got featured, not the player.
The sleeves.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Yeah, budget decks for the win. That's
all right. So we got Margaret to play here. Seems like he's keeping his hand, but Tommy's mulligan.
Tommy doesn't like it. I assume he's on the. If I don't have an Arbor Elf or a Utopia Sprawl, I just mulligan, like Tron style.
On the draw, yeah, that probably makes sense. Or some way of like disrupting the combo, which would be a Force of Vigor maybe.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So if I don't have anything to do turn 1, yeah, then the hand goes back.
It's very interesting to sideboard against Mark's deck too, because like how much removal do you leave in your deck?
Agree. It's how do you sideboard, how do you mulligan, how scared do you play? Mm-hmm. I think that's so hard. I think that's a huge...
Oh, that's a snap mull. That's probably a no-lander.
Yeah. I'm not sure standings is available. I'll ask between the rounds, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. I think it would be
That would be a good suggestion to put up on stream between rounds, for instance.
Yeah, definitely. You'll probably recognize a lot of names.
From the chat?
No, I'm just talking to like the Danish guys in the chat. When they look at the standings, you can recognize some names. It's like the good old times.
Exactly. I hope we also get to see a backup feature of 2 Danish superstars.
Yep.
But right now, okay, we definitely have a keep here, but it does not look particularly fast.
Yeah.
But no Elf, no Utopia Sprawl.
Exactly.
But there is Bone Crush, Giant, and Fury, so you definitely like did...
Bone Crusher is like a thing to do before your 3-drop arrives, but...
That is true.
Let's see.
Depends on if it has a target, though.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we got the Bobble, and then using the Fetch Land.
So what does that tell you about Mark's hand?
I would assume he only has Fetch Lands.
Yep.
And he wants to play something on turn 1. Because otherwise you could use Bobble on yourself to essentially get a Scry. If you want the card, you just play a Shockland and play a Ragavan. And if you do... Oh, he just plays a... He fetches a taps Sacred Foundry? Does he play anything with it? He plays a...
He did play a drum,
okay,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you don't want the card, you can just fetch it away. But instead he leaves a... Alternatively, it could be that he wants the artifact count in play for Emery, potentially.
So he's not cracking the bobble. Okay,
he's not cracking it at all. Yeah, that is another way.
Maybe this is a Saga draw.
It could also be a Saga draw for sure.
Saga draw, but here it is.
Yes,
here it is.
Emery. And then, because of the Springleaf Drum now, that is an extra mana this turn here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
He milled over 2 breaches though. No way to get those back from the graveyard. But there's a grinding station. So yeah, this Emery could potentially outgrind outgrind Tommy here.
Yeah.
With,
That's a tried and true strategy, having a Bobble and an Emery and just trying to bury your opponent in
something I
card
see Mark
advantage.
do a lot, by the way, is that when Grinding Station comes into play, it actually triggers, because it's whenever any artifact comes into play. So he could respond to that by sacrificing an artifact to mill 3 and then untap it immediately. I've seen this before.
Yeah, that's cool. Hi guys, great comments and considerations. Can you please say hi to my 2 big Italian friends that are here in the tournaments? Nazareno Parlato and Nino Sardina.
I already said hi to Nazareno, so...
Okay, that's cool.
That.
Today's his birthday. I will tell Andrea, and he will be the birthday boy.
Yeah.
He'll deliver the message.
Don't kill the messenger.
And yeah, thank you so much for commenting.
It does seem like this Bone Crusher Giant, will stop all the Emery grind dreams here.
Yeah, that's basically what Tommy was hoping for, that his Bone Crusher would be like his bridge into the mid game and do something relevant on turn 2.
Yeah, it seems to be a very important part of what was Mark's game plan here.
Yep.
So now we see him play out an Spellbomb that I'm sure he wish he had him play on top with the Emery as well.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect.
Could have actually played that last turn.
So now, let's see here. I'm not sure about the rule enforcement level, and so isn't Grandstone supposed to trigger? Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to announce every trigger, though. It's only when it's relevant. But yeah, if you want to...
Okay.
Activate
so I assume he just went like Spellbomb pass and then remembered and then asked about it. That was like a pause, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe. It might also be something else.
And so, funnily enough, this deck plays 1 Clothis.
Oh yeah,
and, we've definitely we've seen it both games, which is also, I mean, that's just awesome. One-offs, not only in Vintage and Old School and stuff. Also,
that's real nice. I wonder if the Spellbomb is gonna get cycled, because Mark needs some action. He has Unholy Heat in hand. That is nothing against Clothis.
That's not really action though.
Yeah.
So how many Breach does Mark play? I would guess like 3. Okay, he plays the full 4. Okay.
Yeah, it is, because it is a combo deck after all. And you need to draw the Breach. That's the part that you can't recur. You actually need to draw it.
Correct.
But if you mill over a grinding station or something with an Emery, like that's fine. You can recur
that's not
it with
a problem.
You can recur it with Breach.
You can get it later. But the enchantment itself, you need to have in your hand.
That's why he only plays 3 grinding station, actually.
Yep. Because it's also good in the yard. So Sentinel is still in the deck.
Do you leave in the Sentinels? Yeah.
That
is barely a threat.
I agree. It does help with the drum, so maybe it's just impossible to cut all of them.
So you want to see what Clothis want to do here. It can actually exile a land, so you can play Fury if you want to, and just
so the 2 different options on Clothis is either if you pick a land, you get to ramp 1 red or 1 green. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you take a non-land, you drain for 2.
Alright, so he's going to shock himself with these nice altered shock lands, and indeed play a Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like he can actually get Mark of Delirium. Does he have a land in the graveyard? I think he might not, actually. Oh, he does. He fetched on turn 1, so...
Yeah. So,
we do see just... Oh, yeah, he can get sacrificed to the grinding station in response to Fury. And he also gets to float a mana. So now Teferi hits the graveyard, and he has Super Delirium now.
Yeah. Definitely the Fury's gone. So many of my old favorite cards are just so obsolete by newer printings. I love the card Flametongue Kavu, but now Fury is just so much better.
That is a lot better. Indeed. I wonder
that is like the same feeling. Yeah, you might want to. So, quick rules question: does graveyard order matter in Modern? It doesn't, right?
It does not. No. So yeah, this is totally fine.
That's cool.
Let's put it right back. They have stopped doing graveyard matters since like '98 or something.
No way. No way.
Probably 96, actually. I think...
Yeah, they stopped making it, but the rule is
Oh, yeah. Like, cards that matter for the graveyard stopped being made in...
Yeah. Hey, you're right.
90s at some point. Alright, here's another just free double strike. And another Unholy Heat to answer it.
Yeah, that's...
Right, so
speaking of, like, the Bone Crusher having, like, the Emery to kill was exactly what Tommy wanted. So this is also what Mark wanted, something he can actually kill with Unholy Heat while doing not a whole...
Real heavy about this. I assume what Tommy really wants is that he can play Bone Crusher Giant alongside something else. So he's just trying to be mana efficient here, playing his 5-drop.
That's a good point, because he still has that one in the bank.
Yeah, because otherwise Bone Crusher Giant is, like, real good to play into removal, because, like, you deal them 2 damage off the trigger, and then, like, it's a 4/3 that dies instead of a double striker.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get to save the...
Kind of reminds me of Eidolon and Burn. It's like when it gets killed, whatever. It's just...
Prayer comes down... Bounces.
Bouncing. I really like bouncing.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Ooh, and now you get to dash in a Ragavan. Okay, so you actually got some threats on the board.
Ragadasher. He did bring in the big card.
We figured the big Chandra.
The big Chandra.
Well, now it's gone.
Yeah,
and
now it's gone. That would
oh
have
man,
been
Mike wished that he could have cast that this turn. That would have been
that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw yesterday in the challenge, Ragavan.
That's why he's so
That's sick. Ragavan hit an opposing worm coil out of Tron, so the Tron player just died to his own worm coil. That was just
That's
awesome.
so cool. Can you talk just a second about like the cool thing that Mark did here?
Yep.
He made sure to dash his Ragavan because he figured that because Tommy's just running out all these Furies, he probably has another one in hand. So he made sure not to expose both his Teferi and his Ragavan to the Fury.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to mitigate the effectiveness of a card like Fury.
All right, so we got Expressive Iteration, just a great card hitting Esper Sentinels. Maybe less of a great card when it just hits one once.
Yeah,
but, you know.
they look super suspicious, as you alluded to in sideboarding. Not a lot of high impact. It's very theoretical that they're going to get any value, but since he's also leaning on Springleaf Drum, I think he kind of needs some number of it.
Actually, his Thassa's Oracle is in exile now. He cannot combo.
How did it end up in exile? Oh, just from...
Qualphus? Yeah, it got milled over and then Qualphus exiled it.
And now Karn is here.
Oh, that's going to shut down the grinding station and the Springleaf Drum. Of course, like, Michael gets to draw some cards. And
yeah,
that's a little message for us.
yeah, but they can't see it. So.
Oh, they can't see that.
But that's okay. That's okay.
That
but
makes
yeah,
a ton of sense. All right, so Karn grabs a Tormod Crypt. Sure.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. You want to play it, let's call it safe.
Yeah, and also, it's not like Breach is a dead card. You can still generate a lot of value with that much stuff in the graveyard.
So
even though the
now,
is...
what you want to be doing is keep the Fury back to make sure the Karn hopefully survives the turn cycle. Well, cancel that. Okay.
Oh. So just attacking here. I wonder if he has a removal spell, and that's why. But then you probably would have main faced it to not let the Sentinel store cards. Maybe he just doesn't care too much about the Karn.
So what happened when he played out the Karn? He didn't pay the extra mana?
He did not. He didn't pay any of the extra mana, so that probably means.
So Tobias drew two cards. Mark Tobias drew two cards. And he's keeping up. Yeah. Okay. This is.
Maybe these Sentinels are not too bad after all.
Maybe these Sentinels will.
Ooh, do you see that Spell Pierce? That is nasty.
Yeah, but it's
if there is
a bit late.
No, I assume there's a bolt coming. Right, like that's the only way you wouldn't pay that one extra mana.
I tend to agree, but I would also prefer to play it in my own turn rather than give my opponent two free cards. So I'm just curious.
I assume that what Tommy is thinking is that Mark will do exactly this. Oh, okay, he just doesn't have it.
Maybe there's some... I mean, Mark is down to 7, so maybe
I think there's merit to do the aggressive line for sure.
Yeah. And then just say, okay, Karn, if Karn gets the crypt, I have the the yard locked down. Then it's fine that Mark can have the rest.
Oh, the fourth Fury. That is not get spell pierced.
No, that's a brutal.
Yeah, that is absolutely savage.
Yeah. Wow, what a drive.
Pew, pew, pew.
That's amazing.
I guess Khan is gone, so you can at least activate your grinding station. But yeah, it's only safe from the combo. Oh, you're actually milling Tommy here.
Yeah.
Let's get some extra info for game 3.
Yeah, so you're saying game 3. Though,
I mean, I don't think there'll be a game 3 here.
Despite...
It's like down to 1.
But it makes sense because since the Oracle is gone, Mark has he can't combo, right?
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's the handshake.
That's just game over.
Samuel Hansen playing aggressively as he should against the combo deck and taking down the
Furies. Yeah, that was
real nice.
Let's take a peek into the backup match.
Oh,
let's just go straight into it.
Yeah, let's just go straight into it. So we have Oscar Christensen, who is definitely like one of the Danish top pros. He top 8'd Mythic Championship 7, the Oko Pro Tour.
Yep.
And against Oliver Moon, who's also played a Pro Tour. I think he played the previous one in Barcelona.
That's very likely, local ringer for years. When I went to the local store, just dominating like the local scene, trying his luck in PPTQs, and then finally you say he won
in online modern PTQ. Those are hard.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
I think he's an exclusive modern player, Hollywood. Yep. So he'll definitely things. And he's on red black mid range, which is one of these interesting takes. Red is such a good color right now, and there's a lot of value in having good mana bases that it makes sense to be just red black instead of Junt.
So what's the creature in the middle here?
That is.
I thought it was a Voidwalker at first.
I think it actually might be the Him.
The Turok?
Turok, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It looks like
makes sense.
It looks like a Turok here. So Turok and Liliana. I mean,
Yeah.
Liliana helps grow the
Exactly.
Turok.
That is a combo. What we have against here against Oscar, it looks like Tron. Boo, boring Tron. No, it's actually a Tron Prison. Which plays stuff like Mystic Forge. It has chalices. So it looks a little bit like the Eldrazi Tron list, but it only plays Thought-Knot here. It's the only Eldrazi in the deck.
Okay. Is this the one with like Welding Jar and Spellskite and stuff?
Yeah, it's playing 4 Spellskite, 4 Serum Powder, 4 Kandi Great Creator,
Okay.
4 Thought-Knot here, 4 Mystic Forge.
3 Eldrazi Temple. That's
Yeah.
a number I thought I would never see.
He talked about that chatted to me before the tournament that he wanted to cut one of the Tron lands.
Yep.
It's for the outrage in the top 8.
Oh, that would be hard to watch.
This Torek is up to like 6 power here.
6/5. Protection
So
white.
the-
Maybe even first strike. Does that first strike? Can't remember really.
No, I think it actually has no keywords.
Aside from protection white.
Yes,
Yep.
but I'm not sure.
So Blast Zone is at 2. So
That's true,
Oscar
actually.
has an answer, but Liliana is threatening the ultimate pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, Turok. Protection white, no first strike.
Yes. Whenever opponent discards a card, gets a counter, and you can kick it to basically him to Torek the opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So we don't actually have a life total
regarding
here,
the
which
life
is an
totals,
issue.
we kind of need the judge to move over to another table, but we can't really communicate with them right now. But I'll let them know between the next rounds. So yeah, we know it moving forward. There's the life totals. Simon is the lifesaver. The life totals will be adjusted here. So 5 for Oscar and 17 for Oliver.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, right? This Torek is like a giant threat, and the Mystic Forge will have to pay life in order for Oscar to actually get a lot of value out of it. Does he hit a... he has Power Plant and Tower in play, but now he has a Mine as well, but no, it is not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough here. I assume the Tron player's at 3. I read the pad somehow. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, it was close. So,
Alright, so they're going into maybe game 2, actually.
well, yeah. I don't even know if there's a way to tell because did we see any?
Probably game 3, right? That makes sense with the time.
Yeah, time.
Yeah, 1-1 now. We got it.
Perfect. So we're going into game 3, which is awesome. That's
Oh,
better
that
than
is
a,
nice, yeah.
than a quick 2-0.
Yeah.
Because
It's
getting into in the middle of a game is just not the same as being there from the start. So much context, like opening hands, some sequencing, some reactions to whatever the opponent's doing. But now we get the whole shebang here. So looking at Oliver's list, he plays an old favorite of mine and also yours. We have registered this card more than we would admit Fulminator Mage.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I don't think I've ever registered this card.
You played Live Again back in the day?
Oh, that's true, actually. Okay. Yeah.
We used to be so excited about a Simeon Spirit Guide turn 2 Fulminator Mage.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
Maybe
man.
you played it for a short period of time,
players.
but I do remember you played it.
Yeah, I did play it, yeah. We also got Alpine Moon in all of the deck lists to shut off these Tron lands.
Yeah, Alpine Moon is just, now you're going to play fair. Yeah, definitely you want that, for
He
sure.
also has an Exile Turok, which I assume actually comes in here.
Turok is good against this deck because if you can him to Turok your opponent on like turn 4 or 5, that's actually when they have their good stuff remaining, so it can be quite good.
That's true. Maybe it's like not as good on the draw as it is on the play. 'Cause
Yeah.
now Oliver will be on the draw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so his threat base is Dottie, Voidwalker, it's Croxus, Ragavan, Season Pyromancer, and even 3 Toroks to begin with. So he has the full playset available. I think he just wants like the full set of Toroks to combat the 4-color decks. Very good against like Omnath, like Solitude, stuff like that.
I do love Oscar sideboard being like almost exclusively one-off artifacts.
That's pretty normal. Like these card decks
Yeah,
in each
exactly.
format, it's like you have such a minimal amount of actual sideboard cards.
He even has the Ensnaring Breach plus Bottle Cloister combo to just completely log out.
So
the
let
opponent.
me think. Here, Bottle Cloister is the one where you like lose your hand at the end of the turn and get it back next upkeep or something.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the turn, you just exile your hand,
Yeah.
and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get back your hand and draw an extra card.
Right.
So that means that on your opponent's turn, Ensnaring Bridge will always you'll always have 0
Yeah.
cards for that, and Oliver's discard spells don't do anything. Oh, so we see Oscar here using the Serum Powder.
Yes, Serum Powder.
He's trying to go for the nut
I see that card every weekend when I play Vintage, but for Modern, it's a rare sight, I would say.
I wonder if there's a judge question here regarding that. Because now they're just talking.
Yeah.
It might be a communication issue, but okay, we see Oscar just go ahead and draw a new hand of 7.
Yeah. So Serum Power is just like normal mulligan. So if you're on the play, you make the decision first. If you're on the draw, you make it second, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a big issue.
I would assume so, but I'm not actually sure how the exact rulings
It's
work.
a good point here in the chat. Voidwalker, discard a big threat and play their threat. I mean,
Yes.
so
Super
the
nice.
sky is the limit.
The issue is there aren't big threats in this deck, because it's not a big Tron deck. Like,
Yeah.
It's just Thought Seer. That is the big threat. It's still really good to hit Thought Seer.
Can you do some cool stuff like take your opponent's Karn
And then get Pithing Needle?
I mean,
Sure.
it is.
Naming Mystic Forge? That could happen.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Alright, so Inquisition here. And
Yeah, the bread and butter start of Inquisition.
we have to turn 2 Chalice of 1 lined up here, which is assume what Oscar plans to put it on in this matchup. It's not like too good
No.
to put it on 1, but it's at least something you can do. And obviously the Tronic is designed to have nothing that costs 1.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. There is the expedition map, probably, right? Yeah, there is expedition map.
yeah,
so,
sure.
So you have to worry about. So will later expedition map even out with later discard spells? Like, is it worth it? But I mean,
How about from Oliver's point? Do you think he's going to take the Walking Ballista or the Chalice?
I think taking the chalice is a sign of weakness.
Yeah, it depends on his hand, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's sending for a 1-drop, he just has to take the Chalice.
I agree. If he even has just one more discard spell, he has
Or
to do
even
it.
just 1 Fatal Push. That
Yep.
answers the Ballista.
Yep.
But we'll get that with the Chalice in play.
Yeah, that is true. Even
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So now you can, from Oscar's POV, develop the saga and make a play. I think that's just
That's
pretty
real
cool.
nice. Yeah, Oscar really wants to play the Saga on turn 2, so that on turn 3 he can start to make constructs.
So let's see if Oliver lives up to his surname and plays out a moon on the saga, because then it just dies
He
on
would
the
just
spot.
die, yeah. But I don't think he has it. I think he has Seasoned Pyromancer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
red
that-
card.
Yeah. Black red mid range. That's how Magic is supposed to be played. I love just
It's sweet.
yeah.
It's definitely sweet. So that is
Voidwalker.
Voidwalker.
The Re2 Shadow, and it has some very interesting text.
Yeah, it has the Leyland of the Void text basically.
Yeah. Plus you get to
And yeah, so whenever like anything goes into your opponent's graveyard,
from this point. Yeah.
it's going to get exiled with a counter on it. And then Dorothy Voidwalker can at any point tap and sacrifice itself to cast any card from that exile
So
pile.
how does that work with creatures? You can only do it on your own turn? Or is it like Shelldog Island, you can just do it whenever?
I'm pretty sure it has activate only as a sorcery or something like that.
I don't.
to
I
prevent
think you
that.
can even hit a counterspell on it, and
Oh.
so you can do it at instant speed. The
Well,
question is just, can you do it with sorceries
In
and
that,
creatures?
in that case, you would be able to also cast the creatures at instant speed.
Because it's
Because it just casts it at the moment you're activating the ability.
like, okay, perfect. It doesn't
Does not avoid.
not avoid.
It does
What
not
is it?
avoid. Oh, okay, so it actually has to
What
comply
does-
with timing restrictions.
Doesn't not.
Doesn't not. Oh, no, that is a lot of negations.
Yeah, so maybe it does avoid it, or it doesn't. Let's.
Yeah, you still need to meet timing restrictions.
All right. So instants are good on your opponent's turn, but creatures and sorceries
Okay,
you need to.
that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So the we can't share the deck lists, but we can somewhat talk you through what's going on.
So we have Liliana coming down here, and yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous because there's the there's the construct being able to be made here.
Yep.
That you can sacrifice to Liliana, and then Ballista can take care of Liliana. Or alternatively, you can just like Ballista the Liliana in response to this. Let
Yeah.
the sacrifice happen. You know, nothing to sacrifice.
Yeah, I like that better.
And then just like make a construct end of turn.
Kill the Liliana, make a construct in a turn. Hello, Andrea.
Oh, we got a fanboy in the chat.
We have a fine boy, random guy from Italy. I let him sleep in my hotel room as well. It's okay. He seems like a nice dude.
Yeah. You're so kind, just landing at your hotel room to strangers. Alright, so we got the first hit in here with the Voidwalker. It is a 3/2 Shadow, so it is like basically
Shadow is just.
unblockable.
Speaking of things that went out of fashion many years ago, Shadow it hasn't been here for like many years. Do we have any more like modern creatures with Shadow?
That I played in Modern?
Yeah, I mean just legal.
Oh yeah, I mean there's plenty from Time Spiral.
Oh,
like
okay,
the Looter
yeah.
and Claw and so on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, mostly they were from a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. The Looter Core, you're definitely right.
Alright, so these tokens right here are construct tokens. size equal to the number of artifacts that Oscar has.
Yep.
And he has a Ursa Saga trigger on the stack, so you can go get a 1-mana artifact, which will buff them up to 3/3s.
Yeah, then it's 2 3/3s.
That is a big clock. Okay, just gets the expedition map. That makes a ton of sense. Now you can get the Tron online.
He can eventually, but it is somewhat slow here.
He still has the Mystic Forge in hand as well. Oh, and now there's a relic. Okay, so that's why he couldn't get that one, which he might have wanted to otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Relic hits the battlefield, so that pumps the artifact count to 4.
4/4 coming in there.
Slowly but surely working on.
Oliver down to 11. And
Ursa Saga is so good.
like Mystic Forge coming down next turn potentially. Like these are 5/5s. You know, Oliver's almost dead
Yep.
on the board. So in a lot of trouble here, but maybe he can get out of it.
So that's the thing with Shadow as a keyword. It doesn't play defense very well.
No, it does not. It also means you cannot block anything but shadow creatures.
Yeah.
So, and you can't, since it's like playing them without mana cost, you can't get a Ballista either. It doesn't do anything. It's just a 0/0.
Right.
So actually, the Voidwalker is a real liability here.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, we got the Seasoned Pyromancer though, making some jump blockers.
I like this, getting rid of the Croxa.
Yeah, so you can cast that next turn.
Yes.
Oh, I guess you can't because there's a relic.
The relic is in play. I'm just excited about that. I love these, like, fix your hand. If you're looking for lands, they're good. If you have too many lands, they're good. These value cards, I'm just so impressed by.
It is definitely very good.
And I guess the Lurus ban made it even like relevant to play them.
Yeah, that's true because it was like not seeing much play for a while, but yeah, now it is right back where it belongs in the metagame. And definitely nice to see next season Pyromancer in like both of our feature matches this round here.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Showing off with these red mid-range decks.
When that card got printed, I thought it was just like format all-star. It's going to be like relevant for a while. I love that kind of card. I think it's very well designed. It's not too good. It's not irrelevant. It's just perfect.
Yeah, and as Mr. Simba points out in chat, there is indeed a filter land. There, so you can easily fix for the season Pyromancer. Double red, not a problem.
Yeah, the filter land can be necessary these days, I would say, for a deck like that.
So Oscar has access to Tron now. Has to tap 2 lands, get the tower. He'll have 5 mana.
5 mana available for the
and
turn.
He can, then also play the Mystic Forge maybe, or
he can. And since he's, I'm not gonna say he's super ahead, but he's a little bit ahead on board.
He might also just want to like activate these. Oh, he plays the Serum Powder to buff up the construct.
Yeah, he's just so focused on getting the job done here and having the biggest creatures and the. So right now maybe he's playing around like. Wait, how big are they? 5?
5/5, yeah.
So he's playing around
a Ballista potentially, right? He has to block if he wants to play around Ballista.
Okay, and I guess he just leaves up 2 mana to crack the map end of turn, maybe?
That's what I would assume, yeah. Or he can crack the relic if the Croxa is about to go off.
Yeah, the thing is...
Yeah, because now that Season Pyromancer goes into the graveyard, you will activate the relic. So, yeah, if
Croxa
anything else is about to go into the graveyard.
Is there any way for Oliver to play that Croxa without passing priority at this point? There isn't, right?
No, it would have to, like, even if he does a fetch land, Oscar could respond.
Exactly.
If he plays a 1-mana discard spell, Oscar would have to respond to the discard spell by cracking relic.
Yeah. I think it's a good play here, because you need to force Oliver to show a way to play the Croxa, and if he doesn't, then you just crack the map. Yes. But if he does, you can crack the relic, so it's just...
Yeah, even if he tries to sacrifice the Voidwalker, again, you can respond to that. Alright, Croxa
from this is not a problem.
Yeah, that is
Oscar is thrilled to see this play, I think.
I would assume so. Yeah, it doesn't defend him against the constructs. Which, to be fair, both were jumped. I assume that Oliver expected that the construct will get smaller now, that the relic and the map will get cracked.
He's hoping for it.
He's discarding the Mystic Forge. I wonder what the other card is, then.
Yeah, tough to say. Because that pile out there with this 6-sided dice on top is like I can't remember the name of the counters, but it's the pile that you have access to with Audi Voidwalker.
Yeah. Also seems like Oliver does not have the 5th land, so he didn't even have the option to use Seasoned Pyromancer to make more jump blockers.
Right.
Not that I'm sure that would actually get him like anywhere closer to winning. Oh, now the second Voidwalker. Okay, so these constructs aren't actually lethal yet.
They aren't.
It has no blockers, but... if you can take the damage this turn, and then next turn maybe make some jump blockers, he might be able to raise.
This is
he
found the artifacts, and now there's 6 fixes, and that ends the game because Oliver was at 11. They were only 5/5 5/5s prior to that draw.
Oliver had a plan. The plan was not very good, but it was the only plan he had available.
Yeah, that was some cool stuff. Right
and he
there.
shows off the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have loved that card because it's so like I play a lot of Vintage and Alpine Moon on Ursa Saga is just so strong. Alpine Moon of Bazaar Baghdad, it's just such a flexible card. Mm-hmm. And for this format, I assume you played mainly for Saga, and then if you play against a Tron deck, sure, why not?
Too?
And also Valakut, yeah. So it actually has multiple uses. The card is just
against the Titan Shift deck too, or not the Almanac deck.
Yeah, do you want to name a bounce land?
Yeah, Shimmy Grow Chamber sometimes. I mean, oftentimes you name Ursa Saga because that deck also plays that card. But
yeah, so it's a cool card to have access to in a deck like this. So
makes sense. And you gotta play your namesake card, you know.
Yeah,
like
that's another
this
thing.
Deck can't play Blood Moon; it's too black heavy with like Turok and so on.
He plays 4 Turoks in his 75. I don't think I've seen that before. Have you seen that before?
I don't think so. No, I've seen like 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, and then 2 in the main, and then this 3rd in the board.
But it fits so well with the game plan because you have a ton of discard spells.
Yeah,
like 4 Forges, 3 Inquisition, and then you also have 3 Croxa. So you really
and Liliana.
And Liliana, right? Like you have a lot of ways to discard cards, which will grow Turok.
Yeah.
So just playing out the Turok on turn 2 is not even bad play in this deck.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
And then protection from white might be really good against like every time.
I'm just thinking, it's legendary. Like 4 is just a lot, but you're definitely right. You can play it for 2 mana. I'm thinking about it as a 4-drop, but you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fact that it's flexible is what makes it so good.
I also just against a card like Ledger Shredder, it just grows like organically, if you can say it like that, or cycling cards. Who knows? Maybe it's like a plan. I'm not sure about it. It's just I like the design. It's a good tribute to a favorite card of mine. So
exactly, it's nice callback. Can we talk about the